Alright, this is a Clout gaze for Gabby Hanna. I know there's been a lot of talk about this one. But, yeah, I just wanted to set the whole thing straight. It's not to be, whatever. But, I see things in people and I kind of get it, but, um, you know, I'm really gonna unload a lot in this one, so, it's an opinion, don't. But it's, I'll tell you what I believe, and you can kind of either agree with me or disagree or collaborate your own scenario. But as far as the chart's concerned with Gabby, it's, her sun is in Aquarius. So it's her legacy in the 10th house. So it's who she thinks she is, which usually, with the Aquarius, it's usually people that have a lot of talent and stuff like that. So, it depends on the position of Aquarius, though. Aquariuses usually are more, not 100%, like everybody else. They usually want to go for a more unique touch or unique talent or something that stands out for them, which makes sense. So, and then we have the moon, which is in the Nine of Wands, which is a surprise is coming for you. But yeah, it's usually defense. So the moon is in Sagittarius. It's a 6th house of responsibility. It usually tells you how you feel. So you could be feeling responsible for certain things or informational. Responsibility isn't 100% like, but usually people that have high responsibility levels hold other people in disregard because of how they feel important and how they feel about themselves. So you have the 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords is escape, and it's by the Mercury sign of Aquarius. It's the 9th house of beliefs. It's how you think and speak. So basically, like with Gabby Hanna, a lot of stuff she says or does kind of sounds condescending. I don't think that's, her 100% what she's trying to do. But I feel like sometimes it can be taken that way or it could be perceived that way. I believe that she does have kind of bipolar tendencies or she has depression. With me, I like to tell people what I see and observe as a person, but I kind of do it, you can take my opinion or you can't take my opinion. I really don't care. I'm not one of those people that is like high functioning depressed. I have clinical depression. I deal with it. I have 3 therapists. What are you going to do? Anyway, so we have Venus in Pisces. The 10th house of legacy, how you love and how you value people. So with Venus and Pisces, usually it's more like you love yoga, you love spirituality, you love doing stuff that's more centered around self-enlightenment. Like I said before, Gabby comes off as a type of a lot of information or a lot of stuff that she wants to help people with. She might, say or do things in the wrong type of way, but her intentions are well founded, I guess. But they can be taken the wrong way. So, it is what it is. Anyway, Mars is in, say, Gemini. So we have the 9 of Swords here. The business will be poor for a short time. So, see, so 9 of Swords is, I believe, sleepless nights, so there might be some worry about finances. And it's a 12th house of transcendence. Usually, that's not good. if it's in sleepless nights and it's the 12th house of transcendence, I feel like a lot of people might be triggered, and there might be a lot of lawsuits and stuff like that. So there might be a little bit worry, there might be a little bit of too much stuff going on. I feel like people that have depression, such as myself and, other people, we want high veracity of either stimulant or recognition for something that we do in order to feel better. It's like the cure of, depression. But depending on if you're going for a high stimulant situation, like if you're a high-paced, celebrity or high-paced job that requires a lot of supply and demand type things, then you're okay with that. But once you either get fired or you leave that job, you could be going into like a low stimulant job, which actually makes you depressed because you're used to doing stuff immediately 100% of the time on demand, basically. And being in a low resolution of that type of thing could make you depressed because you have all this energy and it's not going anywhere, and you're basically feeling like you're wasting it or you're wasting your time. So people with depression basically have a hard time coping with a high to low ratio situation. So, or stopping altogether. Usually slowing down and stopping is like a big major oopsie doopsie. But if you can find a healthy in between, like you do, community service or something that would be high paced, you can actually not even think about your depression or, anything close to depression. You could actually cure your own depression by being in a team building exercise, which I do a lot, so that's how I know about it. Anyway, so Jupiter is going to be the Six of Wands, which is success. But with Gabby's Jupiter, it's in Leo, but it's blocked. So it's kind of an aristocratic kind of alliance where you feel like you could be famous, like, period. But if there's a block there, you might have ideas, you might have some stuff you want to do and stuff like that. But it never goes over well. And I don't want to say that condescendingly, but with a blocked, Jupiter and Leo, you have the pride of an aristocrat. You have the pride of somebody who's famous. You probably have the recognition of somebody who's famous. But there's a block there, so you always feel like a wannabe or a poser of your own life. It's a weird imposter sabotage type of scenario. So there might be a lot of like regret or dishonesty, or you're trying to blame somebody else for your failure, which isn't true. Basically, you yourself would depend on other people to make you successful, which for people with a Jupiter in Leo doesn't go over too well because you want to stand on your own feet. And Jupiter is actually in the third house of communication. So it controls your luck and how you expand. So if it's blocked, there's a lot of stuff that you're not going to expand upon. There might be a point where you feel stuck. And that's why I say that, Gabby Hanna's probably depressed or bipolar, because trying to have what you want when you have a Jupiter that is blocked is very hard. It's very difficult. It's hard to overcome. It's hard to explain to other people what exactly is going on and how you feel. You feel like you can't get jobs done. You feel like you can't get feelings out. You can't tell people how you want to be in the future. Like, that's a hard thing to actually say and then do. It's two different things. Okay, so Saturn is going to be in Aquarius, the ninth house of beliefs. So self-discipline and responsibility. So like I said before, usually people with high responsibilities in Aquarius and other ones like that hold it at high regard, to the point where they could be giving information and stuff like that. So, Uranus is going to be in Capricorn. Capricorn is in the 8th house of intimacy, your uniqueness, where you don't fit in. So, it could be in the money sector, it could be in the more mentor sector of your personality. So we have Neptune in Capricorn in the 8th house as well, so your hopes, dreams, and imagination. It could be that, you kind of want to have a lot of things done, or a lot of dreams, become famous, become one of those people that to old age is famous, that type of thing, comfortable. Then we have Pluto and Scorpio, which is the 6th house of responsibility, your death and rebirth transformation. With my chart, my Pluto is totally blocked, but without the other planets involved, it actually means guidance when it's blocked. So with this one, it's high responsibility again, but it's to the point where it could be taken the wrong way. It could be like, oh, I'm becoming a good person, but you need to do this, this, and this, and this to please me. It's a weird scenario. It's a weird placement for anybody. And to have it in the 6th house. And it could also be some childhood memories or stuff like that. Like, you could have happy memories of childhood, but bad memories of growing up. Like, it's a very weird, complex dividend of the 6th house. But yeah, I feel like there's some type of struggle that might not be able to be put into words. Like, you might have been your parents' favorite, or you could have been a older sibling, and then you get out into the real world and it's a culture shock for you. Like, nobody thinks I'm great, like, what's going on here? Or, this isn't happening the way I want it to, so I'm going to change it, or I'm going to become part of the status quo. Like, it's very culture shocky, I feel, and I know a lot of people go through that, where they want to make a difference, they want to be bigger than big, and they have all those things about being famous. But, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, we have Lilith. Lilith is going to be in Sagittarius. In the 7th house of partnership. It's a dark moon. It's the warrior, free will, and the mission. So, when she goes on her mission and becomes a little bit normal, or, she wants to kind of go back into just society in general and become, like, nobody knows who she is anymore, she will meet somebody. It's going to be a Sagittarius, probably older, but, what are you going to do? But, yeah, Lilith usually comes from failure, like, realizing that your own failure is okay. Lilith kind of goes off and does her own thing. With this point, it's kind of, when you find your partner, you kind of have to humble yourself in knowing that you won't be able to get out of your rut, as far as this is concerned in the placement. But, yeah, there is no 5th house or 11th house. What are you doing? My cat's over here just purring at everything, or meowing at everything. So, let's see. We have the North Node in Capricorn, which is the 9th house of beliefs. So, where you're going in this life. So, Capricorn in the 9th house. You really don't have too much in the 9th house, except for Saturn. Saturn's like the truth planet, so the North Node is probably going to align with Saturn. Saturn's the point of either a return of something or the truth, or kind of getting out of a prediction of yourself as something else. You know, it's kind of the realization point. So the empty houses are going to be, see, the first house of identity and, see, lack of identity or personality, puts on a fake mask. So again, she comes off as she's famous, she's, you know, a personality and stuff, but she's not getting anywhere close to that, and it's really weird, really sad. You know, the third house of communication is always going to be one of those things that's like, it either projects you forward or puts you back. But with the Leo, it almost is like a caged animal. So it's kind of hard to get past a Leo in a blocked house because there's a lot of rage involved with a fire sign. So, you know, that's something that you're going to have to kind of outgrow. Okay, so the second house of values is missing also. So feelings of insecurity and instability. So, like I said, it's going to be like really extremed to the point of no return. And two of that second house is like a projection of everything. And having it blocked is a problem. Also, the fourth house of roots, detachment and family problems. So, like, Gabby could have had like a really good life, but there could have been like a shortage of money, a shortage of goods, time spent together, or something to that effect. So there might have been like a lot of call for attention at a young age, or feeling neglected at a young age. So there's that. And then we have the fifth house of creativity. Gets bored easily. Doesn't enjoy much because it's an empty house in her horoscope. But the 11th house is also blocked. The 11th house is of self. So difficulty maintaining friendships. So a lot of people either come and go out of her life, or they kind of leave after a certain time, and it might be a little bit heartbreaking, or you might feel alone. But yeah, it happens. Anyway, so we have the Four of Pentacles, which is solidarity. We have the Four of Cups, which is offers and loneliness. And we have the Five of Swords, which is deception and conflict. I think this one's also control. But, yeah, this, like, as you can see, there's a lot of swords and a lot of wands and a lot of, like, pentacles and cups, which cancel each other out. Any fours cancel each other out. Any nines cancel each other out. Any sixes cancel each other out. The only thing left over is the five, which is deception and conflict. So, no problem. But anyway, so her representation is the corn maze, the flute, the triumph arch, the chariot, the elephant, the flower, the empty circle. I have an empty circle in mine too. The elephant, another elephant. You have 3 elephants, so there's something to that. There might be memories, there might be past life being weighed up here too, but you know, it's, I don't know, you might have been mean to somebody in a past life, and maybe this is the karma from that. I don't know, but it seems pretty big. And then we have the last one, which is another flower. So there's 2 flowers, one of them's blocked, which is interesting. It's kind of like a mirror image of each other. So one of them's focused in on the left, one of them's focused in on the right. So interesting stuff. So usually with legacy in Aquarius, where it's positioned, usually this person could be a dancer, a musician, have management jobs in the entertainment industry, creative arts, dealing with gems and precious metals, um, athletes, group coordinators, realtors, landscape artists, franchisers, financiers, um, warriors, poets, song composers, scientists, computer workers, makers of musical instruments, vocalists, psychic mediums, astrologers, yoga healers, let's see, medical practitioners, surgeons, high-tech workers, um, versatile and multitasking workers, and managers. So there's a lot of little jobs. So you can potentially do them all, or one or two of them, whatever have you. But it's kind of like where the legacy is. I think there's another house in here that's legacy oriented. Yeah, the Pisces one. The Pisces one is kind of the same thing, but it talks more about feelings, like being a therapist, or like a masseuse or stuff like that. And some people don't want to be a masseuse. They would rather be a realtor. They would rather be a creative artist. So, like, I don't feel like the position that Gabby's in is particularly a bad one. And I don't doubt that she has ADHD. She might have ADHD. But I do feel like there's some depression and some bipolar natures to it. But it's not a bad thing. Usually people that are, high strung or something, they usually get, like, kind of blue collar jobs, but they do very well at blue collar jobs, which I feel like that's the problem here. Gabby could do very well at a blue collar job or a white collar job or a union job, but as far as being famous is concerned, it might not happen, which is the reality that she might have to face and actually go for something that's more blue collar or union related. I worked a union job. You get like all these breaks, so it's not a bad thing. So might want to try that if you want to be successful. But I don't feel like YouTube, Vine, TikTok, and stuff was meant to last, to be honest, for some people. But I feel like it's, you have to have something to fall back on. So, you can be successful in different ways. So, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like it's worth a try. None of these jobs that I've listed are particularly bad jobs. They're just more of, out of the box, into the box kind of thing. But, like, you can have a studio for writing songs and stuff. You could be a, psychic medium when you have a hunch about something like I do. Or you could, just be a dancer or a musician. Like, you can pose artwork, So it's not a bad deal. Anyway, this was Gabby Hanna's reading. Hopefully it gave you perspective. If it helps out somebody, hopefully it does. I'm not trying to be like the bad guy here. I'm trying to help people out, and some people take it the wrong way. I don't necessarily think being on YouTube is bad, like, honest to God. But I do feel like there's a lot of people that might be jealous of how you create, But yes, instead of being a vlogger, I think, there's alternatives. Like, you don't have to be a vlogger. You can be a landscape artist and show people different brushes, different brush strokes, different types of things. Or you could learn. Like, you could learn and then you can say, I'm learning this today. Hopefully I do well, It's going to blow out my ass. But, like, you get better as vulnerable as you get, with certain things you're doing. With psychic stuff, you kind of have to know what you're talking about. But, yeah, with with artistry, with stuff like that, with technical work, you're going to learn a lot from peers, and peers are going to learn a lot from you, and how versatile you can be with different things, and different solutions. So, it's worth trying. Also, being an athlete is a lot of fun, so you might want to try that. But yeah, it's not a bad life. It's just you have to rethink how you can get famous or you can get really successful. Which I get that. So I'm trying to help you out. Alright? Anyway, this was Clout Gaze, and I will see you in the next one. Alright?